host, Johnny Zetz.
Welcome back to another episode of The Devil's Mic. It brings me great pleasure to welcome back the one and only Kingdom Collapse. How you guys doing?
Good.
Doing good.
And just in case everybody forgot, go ahead and just introduce your names.
Robert, I play guitar.
Jonathan, I sing and play guitar sometimes.
Sometimes, most of the time. Nah, what, like rhythm guitar?
Yeah, some songs it makes sense to bring out, that second guitar part, but yeah, Robert really holds it down as far as everything else.
Help him out with the workload, I guess.
Yeah.
The string master. All right, so let's go ahead and just hop right into it. Let's go ahead and first, before we get into the latest single, let's talk about the newest members. Y'all brought on a drummer and a bass player, which are full-time, from what I can see. What were you looking for in new members through that process that you saw in these guys?
Yeah, so basically, Blake, our bassist, I've known him forever. I mean, well, not forever, a long time. He's been in since we released this Agony back in, February. After that, we've really been looking for a full-time drummer for a while and didn't want to find ourselves in the same situation we wound up in. Yeah. So we really just took time to make sure we found the right fit. Right. And talked to a lot of drummers, tried out a lot of people, and David really just kind of had the full, he's really well-rounded as far as, mindset, skill, personality, as a team player. Like, everything was like, okay, that's our dude. Like, right. So we locked it in and about to hit the road with him, this next week. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fun time. So, yeah, I mean, y'all lost Wesley, or, he's no longer in the band, and he was, a pretty good fit for you guys. Were you looking for, I guess, someone to kind of replace him with that same vibe, or was there anything else that you were looking for?
It's just more, there's nothing wrong with him, but it was, we were mainly looking for playing skill, someone who's going to show up. And again, this isn't anything he was bad at, but
right, yeah.
Just something that we needed to, fill his shoes.
Yeah,
what
shoes to fill.
What he was doing, and potentially with growth more. Mm-hmm. And Blake has done all that and more, and he's been a good fit. So
nice. Yeah, and you guys look fucking badass in them promos, I gotta say. With them jackets, I'm like, all right, okay, these guys. What were y'all, like, some skate park, or?
Oh, man, so that was, the end of August, and it was, 100 plus out there, and we were like, this guy actually did the new promos for Upon a Burning Body and stuff like that, and I saw him, and I was like, dude, his photo style, the way his photos come out, would look great with us. So I hit him up. He drove all the way up from the valley. And he gets over here, and his car is having trouble, broke down over at Buc-ee's. So we were like, hey, let's all get in the truck and let's go help him, and then let's get him back over here. And by that time, we're all sweating, and because we've been wearing this shit, and people are looking at us, and why are you wearing a leather jacket in Texas in August? Yeah. But that was the skate park here in town, and it ended up turning out pretty cool. A lot of people are like, yeah, man, that looks like it was shot in California or something.
That's the vibe I got, especially with the skate park, in the background and all that. It was fucking sick. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, what did I tell? I told Moses, I was all like, these guys look like they're in the Jets or something like that. Fucking what's that? West Side Story, yeah. I was like, these are fucking badass. Yeah, right. Hey, same thing, right? Now, let's go ahead and hop into the latest single. They just released a new single called Payback. I'm sure you probably heard it. If you haven't, go check it out. It's on Spotify, iTunes, all that good shit. It's even in rotation now with Sirius Octane, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Let's go ahead and just talk about the story of the song itself. You said that it's an anthem for the underdog. Do you consider Kingdom Collapse as an underdog, or is that something that you just want to, give someone else that hope, I guess, that they can overcome those odds?
So really, Kingdom Collapse as a band is like we write from. I mean, we're all just like normal people like everyone else, and relate with everyone else on a normal, down to earth level, right? So where I really found the inspiration for that song was, we all have people that we felt like sometimes, man, like that person just kind of like walks all over everything, or like someone kind of takes advantage of you. But, they're someone that you've called a friend, but they kind of use that, like you've kind of let your guard down for someone that is your friend.
Right.
But then they kind of abuse that or blah, 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 and it just boils up and you've just had enough.
Right.
And, or like they, it's kind of like, it follows that suffer kind of vibe, but
Right.
really just having enough of that,
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's really what it's about is, the person that, it's definitely not the villain. It's the person that sits there time after time after time after time and, takes it. And then finally is like, fuck this. Like, we're not doing this anymore.
Right, no.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's about.
Yeah, and like you said, it does have that suffer vibe to it. But it's not as far as like inflicting what you have done to me upon you. More like, I'm done with this shit. Like you said, it's I'm gonna stand up for myself. Not gonna take it any longer. You're not gonna use me anymore. Now, whenever you posted that video, as far as like with XM or Sirius XM, and Jose was talking about, we heard these guys from Nothing More. What was that like to, get a shout out from a band as big as Nothing More, which is pretty much from your hometown?
That was cool. We'd been talking with Mark.
Yeah.
Talking with Mark, and a real good guy, and we just pitched the song to him, and there's some other stuff, other details, but it's cool being not compared, but having our name and their name in the same sentence,
Right,
on such a big stage, just out there, that you got to hear this song Payback, or Friends and Nothing More, said this. So
Yeah.
it's cool getting, recognized.
Yeah.
through that.
Yeah, no, shout out to Nothing More, and also shout out to Jose Mangan, except he kind of botched a little detail, talking about some Mexicanos from San Antonio, but this guy over here is, he's Caucasian, a little bit lighter skin complected. What was that like?
Man, it's funny, man. Like, my girlfriend's Hispanic, like everyone else is in the band is like, I'm kind of like, I'm just lumped in, and it's no problem at all. It's just I thought it was funny, like it's like because he actually commented on the Instagram post after we posted the clip, and he was like, I just checked out y'all's last names and figured y'all were, and I was like, Norris,
Yeah, Norris.
like Chuck Norris,
Right.
what? Okay, whatever,
Yeah, right.
Norris.
Northeast got that, what's that, apostrophe or whatever the hell, you know what I'm saying? But no, I thought that shit was hilarious, and the fact that you were like, I'm white, it cracked me up. But no, shout out to Jose, y'all doing good work over there, and what's it like to be on regular rotation now at Sirius Octane, as far as your song goes?
Oh, well, it's been awesome. So it was originally on Test Drive, which is they pick 3 songs, play it for a week, kind of introduce people to not necessarily new artists. I mean, we were in there with Lacuna Coil and some other bands that are, signed and doing things, but we had the honor of being lumped in with that and playing for a week, and because people started requesting it and demanding it so much from that. And I even saw when you posted on there, you're like, let's get some more Kingdom Collapse, and like a lot of people were requesting it, and now as of yesterday, it's thrown in, and it just, I want to say it was Saturday. We started getting notifications. People were messaging us or posting on our Facebook like, "Hey, I just heard Payback again on Octane." We're like, "Wait, is it like on rotation now?" And yeah, they announced it yesterday, and they're like, "Yeah, it's on regular rotation because it's been demanded." And so that's like it's been playing probably at least 4 or 5 times a day, which is even more than Test Drive. Test Drive was just like once a day. So we'll see, but we're excited for it.
Hell yeah. And we talked about Sirius and everything that's going on with Sirius and how that debuted through Sirius Octane Test Drive. And what about the music video? What's it like to have your music video debuted or world premiere, quote unquote, through alternative press?
That's a big one. That one's cool. It's such a big name out there, releasing our video, on the world stage. Everybody sees that. I think they have 1.2 million people on Facebook, but it's a well-known, magazine. They've been around for a while, and it's cool seeing it there, as well as Octane and other various places. But that was a big one. Yeah, that was really big.
Yeah, I mean it was cool. Really, with this single when we put it out, like it was very well received, and I think it's kind of a snowball effect of like everything beforehand, and then people have been waiting. They're like, okay, what's next? Blah blah blah, and we kind of hit people fairly quickly with this one, and just really created a lot of buzz and really tried to network a lot and try to get some platforms to push it, and yeah, so I mean it's paying off. So
it's paying off, and you guys are getting the recognition that you've been deserving for some time now, especially with the debut EP, which is fucking killer, and we're looking out for more. Now, as far as the video itself, I just want to give a shout out to Kevin Crucial. He does a lot of y'all's videos, so and they always come out really good. One thing I wanted to touch on was the storyline. I tried to do a little bit more research. Now, was that like a storyline that was like made up for the I guess like the story of the song, or talk to us about that story about the man whose family was killed, people got released, and go ahead.
So I mean, that actual story, names and blah blah blah. I mean, it's fictional. Like as far as the music video, we used more of a action movie approach, right? Kind of took it to an extreme. But as far as Ron, like I mean, he's a buddy like I've known for a while here in town, and we kind of just built this. We built this story for the video and kind of put the context of the song into a little bit more of a dramatic, cinematic approach. Yeah. So that's what it is.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I was like, man, I can't find this fucking story. But no, I really enjoyed the music video and how it was played out. As far as the story and the song, it all fits hand in hand. How it plays out. So if you haven't seen the video, definitely go check it out. I know you said it's a little extreme. I don't think it's extreme enough. I think it's the perfect amount of fucking action and everything.
We shot a lot of different stuff that actually didn't end up making it in the final cut, just because that song's quick. It's like 2 minutes 44 seconds, but there's a lot of stuff and a lot of dialogue actually in that opening scene, where our buddy Luke, he's crawling on the ground, right there. Like there was some dialogue, and he's like, no, don't shoot, like all this stuff. Like we just had fun with it. That's what it was. It's like a movie, It's not meant to be like promoting killing and stuff like that. It's entertainment.
Yeah, and that's all music is entertainment. And what better way to do it than like an action movie feel to it? It keeps the audience engaged. I know it kept me engaged, so if it keeps me engaged, I'm sure it'll keep a lot of people in the video.
Really, just capturing that emotion. The aggressive, like the song, like really just like feeling that and visually, how can you take that emotion to its, full capacity? Yeah. Right.
Yeah, by having cars on fire and, people, things carved in their head. And, it was perfect, man. Now, what was the feedback like or the response to the music video whenever it was released?
So I got good feedback. I think everybody did. Yeah. There wasn't any bad other than, some people saying it was a little too much, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, it wasn't enough.
But you'll get that. But everything was positive about it. They liked the storyline, that we put a story in it that you could follow, and just everything was good about it. So
Nice. And that goes with a lot of your music videos as well. It all has, a backstory to it, and you always have a video that, helps push that message and, that story all together.
Right. Yeah, I mean, really, we try to write, like with every song, really try to get into that zone or that feeling or emotion, and see where that emotion takes you, rather than trying to fit it into a box. Like, really, we almost let the song take us where, in the writing process, let the song take you, rather than like forcing the song, taking the song with you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Kind of flipping it.
Right, exactly. Not letting the song, kind of limit your possibilities as far as what you can do with it, but instead of going outside the box, thinking outside the box, in that aspect. So, go ahead.
On several ideas, but we have one that's pretty developed. That's really cool. That he really helped maybe bring out a little bit of a different dimension with our sound that we're excited for. So, yeah.
That's what's good about having that outside ear listening in and working with you guys. You get that input from someone else, from the outside looking in, so to speak, right. And they get to add their own element, but within the same guidelines as what you guys are looking for to actually enhance the song. Now, what's it like, to you being able to work with such a big time name such as Ted? Let me tell you something.
So John does most of the. He's been working with Ted a bunch. I haven't really worked on it as much on this particular song, mm-hmm. But on my side, it's cool seeing because John, we all have our own writing styles, mm-hmm. And when you bring that third element in, and you bring Ted in, it's like it's John's writing, but it's also his, so it's a mixture of both.
Right.
So it's nothing like bad. It's a good, what's the word? Like it's
mixture.
It's mixture. It's new, but it's to our roots.
Right. Right. Yeah.
It's not anything bad. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely different working just me and John versus John with Ted.
Right.
It's different.
Yeah, like I said, it has that new element, and they're still staying within the guidelines, but it's also gonna, like I said, enhance that. Now, what I want to know, and I'm pretty sure what Moses wants to know as well, whenever we're at the EP release show for War Inside, y'all played a song. It was a slower song. It was like almost like a ballad.
Yeah.
And that song really. It really made me emotional. It also made Moses emotional as well, and it was such a good song that I want it, man. What's the word on Are you gonna add that? Are you gonna release it soon? Or
Yeah, so that one, the name is I Remember, and that one's really, really special to me personally. I wrote it about my dad, or to my dad. He passed away when I was 8, and so that song was written from the perspective of being in the same room. Like, this actually happened, but being in the same room, watching him take his last breath, and, like, seeing it all happen, right. That whole situation. And when I started writing that song, that was the fastest song where the lyrics just poured out. Mm-hmm. Because it's like that. It's been 18 years now. 18 years of just like all those emotions and those memories like stuck in your head. It's just like there, right. Ready to like flood out. Yeah. So that song, and everyone else agrees with this too, but we're saving that song until, a label comes along, first album, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And there's a fair platform or budget to really let that song have the push it deserves. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's sitting there waiting, like it's gonna be released. Yeah, okay. But as of right now, independently, I don't think it would do the song justice. Yeah. Just a personal thing, but that it's gonna be released in the future.
All right.
So
That's all I needed to know. Just as long as it is going to be released, because oh man, I can only tell you how I felt while listening to that song, and yeah, it made Moses cry, and it's a great song, and like you said, it's built up emotion and thoughts in your head that you've had since then, and you can really feel it whenever you perform it, but also just in the lyrics itself. You can know that you've been through it, you experienced it, and it's an awesome song. It's a perfect song, so we're ready for that to be released, but coming in the future. Now, speaking of the future, any time frame on album, EP?
So I'll give the microphone off to Robert here in a second, but really just taking the approach of singles right now. Because really, at this point, what we're doing is trying to get things out there. And what we found with the EP is like we would release, a big batch of songs, and only people, it's the nature of it, but people only care about that single. So it's like, well, we could have waited. I mean, technically, over the span of the last year, we could have taken each 7 of those songs and released them as singles, and it would have done way better than just like, people's attention spans, like, you know what I mean? When you're able to invest in like one single, polish that one up, do a video for it, boom, like people are going to be more receptive to that song than say if it's an album song that doesn't have any attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just that it's kind of a experiment that we've learned where we're taking that approach, at least until a label comes along.
Right.
So
I'll take. But just to capitalize on what you were talking about as far as attention spans. Not only that, but just music today in general. Music today is all, you got streaming platforms to where you can just get it all right then and there. You don't have to go out and actually purchase the album and listen to each song individually. You just pick the song you like, go to the album, and just listen to that one song over and over. But yeah, as far as like new music, talk to us about that.
So new music, like what John said, is that we're doing singles right now. So we plan to release. This is Devil's Mic exclusive.
Devil's Mic exclusive, yes.
Maybe.
Oh shit! You shot me down, man.
We might release something this year, but it very 50-50.
Okay, it's up in.
But if we do end up, y'all heard it first.
Yeah, we heard it here first.
But we don't know yet.
Oh.
But next year definitely, obviously,
there'll be a lot more.
we'll have we have a bunch planned for next year, and this year kind of just seeing where we're going as far as Payback and other stuff. But we haven't stopped writing. It's ongoing. We're not gonna just stop. So there will be more. Next year's gonna be big.
Keep an eye out for it. Next year's gonna be big, but there's still a chance we could get one more by the end of this year. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. Definitely check out Payback. That's a banger. So you're gonna be listening to that one for you some time now. Now let's go ahead and talk about upcoming shows, tours. I know you guys got some short runs coming up. Yep. You have those dates. So you want to go ahead and release those?
Yeah. So this Friday, the 18th, in Houston, and then we're traveling up to Memphis on the 20th. That'll be our first time in Tennessee, which is awesome. We have a lot of people in that area that have already told us they're like, hey, I'm going to drive over to Memphis and catch y'all. I've been, wanting to catch y'all for like a year and a half, like, because right now we're just now financially able to start doing that stuff. So it's going to be a big chance to meet a lot of these people that have been big supporters of us and, meet them in person and